Well, some new questions surrounding the motivation behind a joint TV interview that was given by President Obama and Secretary Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State, over the weekend on 60 Minutes. Host Steve Croft asking the president why he wanted to do this interview. Very rare to see a sitting president with the Secretary of State in an interview like this. Here's how he responded.
Well, the main thing is I just wanted to have a chance to publicly say thank you, because I think Hillary will go down as one of the finest Secretary of States we've had. It has been a great collaboration over the last 4 years. I'm going to miss her. Wish she was sticking around, but she has logged in so many miles I can't begrudge her wanting to take it easy for a little bit.
A lot of people speculating about the larger meaning behind this sit-down. Kirsten Powers, Daily Beast columnist, and Tucker Carlson, editor at the Daily Caller. Both, of course, are Fox News contributors, and we welcome you both here this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
You know, at one point in the interview, Steve Croft said, you know, I'm going to spare you sort of going down memory lane and reminding both of you of the way you were with each other on the campaign, but we're not so generous here, so we're going to play a clip from one of those debates. Let's take a look.
I'll try to go on. He's very likable. I agree with that. I don't think I'm that bad.
You're likable enough.
Thank
Hillary,
you so
no
much. I appreciate that.
Oh, look at her shaking her head. That moment was just, you know, pieced apart. The whole thing started with a likability rating for both of them in that question. So, once again, good morning, guys. Tucker, what's the motivation? Why did we watch this yesterday?
Well, I mean, this interview presented the President and the Secretary of State basically as celebrities, as famous people about whom you'd want to know more. I think it was great for them. It humanized them. It made them seem like they have a warm personal relationship. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's one of the reasons that the President has done so many interviews on 60 Minutes. He did 5 just in the 2008 campaign. He keeps going back, I guess, with the expectation that he'll be treated like he was in this interview. Of course, it's great for him.
Kirsten, a lot of criticism about this interview, that this was a real missed opportunity to have the President of the United States, Secretary of State, both have guided the country in, you know, very tough economic times and international situations, and that there was just no real questions.
No, there wasn't. I mean, it really was something you would expect from, like, the state-run media. You know, it was that kind of level of propaganda, as far as I'm concerned. First of all, 60 Minutes was transparently being used as a campaign advertisement, which, you know, if they're okay with that, then okay. But
why,
I think,
Kirsten,
why
would they do this? They don't have to do that. Why?
Well, I can understand maybe agreeing to the interview, letting them have like maybe one softball question in the beginning, and then move on to more important things. But the reality is that, I mean, this was a joke. I mean, it really was. You look at it, and even just not challenging basic things like the president claiming that Hillary's been a great Secretary of State in part because they have dismantled Qaeda. Now, I'm sorry, it's just, is anyone paying attention to what's going on in North Africa?
Yeah.
Why is the president not asked about Algeria,
so true,
Mali, Libya?
Yep.
You know, I mean, these are in front and center in the news right now. And the next question after he says this is, I have to ask you, what's the date of expiration of this endorsement?
Yeah.
That's his follow-up question to the president, saying that Al-Qaeda has been dismantled.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point, Kirsten. Great, Tucker, go ahead.
Well, I mean, this is consistent, by the way. You'll remember that on September 12th, the day after the attacks in Benghazi in which 4 Americans were murdered, the president did an interview with Steve Croft in which he said,
yes,
you know, we don't know whether this was an act of terrorism or not. CBS sat on that soundbite, the only news to come out of that interview, and they did not release that to the public until way after it had become a major issue in a presidential debate. They, in effect, worked on behalf of the Obama campaign. To your question, which is a smart one, why are they doing this? I don't know. 60 Minutes is a good show a lot of the time. They don't need to do this.
They're going to catch heat for this for some time. I mean, from all
he's like
quarters. I mean, Kirsten just called it propaganda on 60 Minutes interview with the president. Propaganda.
They melt with Obama for some reason.
Well, also, Martha, the other thing is that probably the first half of the interview, it's just old news. We already know how the Secretary of State was chosen. We already know about the back and forth. This has already been reported on. This is not new information, like he was getting some new insight into how this came about and how they got over their relationship. I mean, it really was just a campaign endorsement.
Yeah, I mean, huge questions about how good a Secretary of State Hillary Clinton really was linger when you look at North Africa, as you say. When you can talk about the Middle East, we could talk about that for quite some time. I do want to talk about the political implications of why they wanted to do this together. You've got poor Joe Biden out there. Every chance he gets, kind of slipping in. Well, I might be interested in running for president. And if there was ever a clearer message that the president, if Hillary was interested, stands by her, Tucker, I'd say that was it.
Well, and it's awful if you think about it. I mean, here, the vice president has served faithfully, done, from what I can tell, everything the president has asked him to do. Historically, that should give him rights to be the front runner in the next presidential election. And here, you've all but got an endorsement from the president of Hillary Clinton. I mean, I think this has to do with domestic politics here and now. I actually don't think it has to do with the coming presidential race. I think it has to do with this narrative about the war on women. The Democratic Party is the party of self-aware women, et cetera. Hillary, of course, leading that group. But it does shaft Biden, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. We could talk about this all afternoon. Great having both of you. Kirsten, thank you. Tucker, thank you.
Thanks, Martha.
It might be the line of the day.
Yeah.
State-run media.
Yeah.
They all make
60
great,
minutes.
terrific points there, too.
Very good.
Won't be the end of this, I don't believe.
No, we're going to talk about that some more.
So the mystery